So there the two sides are in this rather narrow tunnel, waiting to head out. Fadlu Davids, the coach of Maritzburg, he goes out early. Ian McLeod is today's match commissioner. He'll be leading the two teams out along with referee Victor Klungwani. And we wait for the excitement of the MTN8 semi-final second leg. A lot of expectation here in Maritzburg. Great buzz about the city.
This Maritzburg team.
Well, they're just waiting for the cue from the match commissioner, and then the two sides will be out on the park. And here they come. Victor Klungwani leads out his refereeing side. Ian McLeod there as well. The two captains of the side, Dennis Weidlich for the home team, and of course Dean Furman for SuperSport United. One of these two sides will be celebrating a place in the cup final later on this evening. A nice tense atmosphere, and there's a good representation of away supporters at this game as well from SuperSport United. So Eric Tinkler goes across and shakes hands with Fadlu Davids. Nice touch there. Two young up-and-coming coaches in South African football. For Fadlu Davids, his 21st game in charge. He's had two caretaker spells and now in charge on a full-time basis. He's only lost 3 times when he has been in charge of SuperSport United. 9 wins and 8 draws. Let's have a look at their lineup. 2 changes from the first leg. Weidlich back in place of Pogiso Sanoko, and Sheldon van Wyk gets the nod up front in place of Devon Saul, the new signing from Cameroon. Yazid Atuba is on the bench for today's encounter. 2 wins in the league as well. They are top of the table. Who will be their key men to look out for today? Brian Mate has his report card for us.
Coach Fadlu Davids talks about being cautious in terms of defense, but also believes in the offensive part of their game. He believes that they've got young players. Bevan Frenchman, of course, in terms of defense, he's the main man. Fortune Makarenga in that defensive midfield is also important. So is Sipe Sitendovu, who will be operating more attack, helping out in defense as well.
Eric Tinkler's already won a piece of silverware, the Telkom Knockout Trophy, at the expense of SuperSport United when he was in charge of Cape Town City last season. He's also made 2 changes. Keegan Ritchie and Dobe Wome dropped to the bench. Dean Furman back from suspension. Jeremy Brocky restored to the lineup after his request for a transfer to Mamelodi Sundowns was turned down by SuperSport United. They insist that he stays and sees out the terms of his contract. Sifiso Mieni, recently signed on loan, is on the bench today.
Similarly, Coach Eric Tinkler talks about defense and transition. And when they attack, where Grant Kekana operates on the right-hand side, they'll have to be covered from Morgan Gold. Renela Letulanyana will have to pull the strings because there's Jeremy Brocky. There's Grobler as well. He's the key man to supply and potential goal scorer on the right-hand side.
Now, Jeremy Brocky comes into tonight's game with 49 goals in all competitions to his name, looking for the magical number 50 tonight. He's scored those 49 in 89 starts for SuperSport United. It's a wonderful goal ratio. 22 cup goals in 27 cup starts, and he's got 4 goals already against Maritzburg over the last 2 seasons. So just a confirmation of the refereeing team tonight, led by Victor Klungwani with Zakele Siwela and Mervyn van Wyk as his 2 linesmen. So the SuperSport captain, Dean Furman, lifted the trophy at the end of last season, the Nedbank Cup, and the German-born Ghanaian Dennis Weidlich back into the lineup. He came on as a substitute in the first leg in Pretoria, restored to a leadership role, and he's got lots of experience alongside him with Bevan Fransman, of course, former SuperSport United player himself. So it's Maritzburg to get matters underway. They are wearing the blue kit tonight. SuperSport are in their change strip of all red. SuperSport in an MTN8 semi-final for the 8th time. They've won 4 of them, lost 3 of the previous 7. Maritzburg United have never before got to this stage of this competition. They were in the MTN8 for the very first time in the previous campaign. You might remember that stunning start against Kaiser Chiefs, but they eventually lost that game, conceding 5 goals in the process in the quarterfinals of last year's competition. Bradley Krobler up to Brocky, looking to get some currency going down that left-hand side. Nice pitch conditions as well. This is the exciting young Ndlovu who made such an impact earlier on this year, made his debut in February. And immediately Maritzburg have got the crowd going. Nice quick tempo to the game, and the first effort on goal for Robin Williams to get a hand onto that.
The buzzword, press, and that's what you're going to see early stages of this game from both teams. You have Tusopala on the right-hand side. You have the pace of Shandu. You've got Ndlovu as well. It's going to be a battle in that midfield with Fortune Makaringe and Dean Furman.
Another searching ball, but Williams should collect this fairly comfortably. They're looking to get Shandu going down that right-hand side. Ball's out of play now. That will be a SuperSport United throw-in. Modiba to take it. He's been, or he has dropped back. I was about to say he's been dropped to left back, but that'd be the wrong terminology. He's been dropped back into the left back position for tonight's encounter. Equally adept in a much more forward role, but he offers them the potential of plenty overlapping tonight, which I'm sure is part of the game plan for Eric Tinkler. Here we have from Daniels.
Isn't it interesting? You mentioned the young man on the left-hand side, but you also have Ndlovu on the left-hand side who's equally adept in terms of going forward. So the approach is very similar. It's a question of execution in the end.
Litsolonyane. Now Modiba gets the cross in. He's looking for Krobler, and the header is just wide. Playing for a corner, half-hearted one from Brocky. No touch from goalkeeper Pantle, and we'll have a goal kick.
Just so Jeremy Brocky uploading the supply that comes into the box, and the brief is pretty simple. Get the two into the box, give them the supply. Jeremy Brocky, Krobler, that's what the likes of Wildings have got to deal with. That's the likes of Bevan Fransman. They've got to be on their alert, and so is Ndlovu.
Furman gets a touch. Nice ball from Modiba as well. This is young Mokoena, 20-year-olds. Ron Kekana on the right-hand side. Tyler had the last touch. Good pressure there from Ndlovu. Certainly not intimidated. He, as you mentioned earlier, only made his debut in February. He's kept his place in the lineup regularly since then, and he certainly is a player who some of the bigger sides will be watching and potentially having to see if they can buy in the future if he keeps up his form. Nice and busy, Aubrey Modiba. Now, Siana Kulu with Bevan Fransman at the back. It's a 3-man defense with Weidlich on the right, Fransman in the middle, and Kulu on the left.
You have Yeye playing more on the left-hand side to try and link up with Modiba and Krobler. You have Mokoena operating on the right-hand side as well.
Last touch off Twala. So Tusopala with his body in the way. Maritzburg still need to clear, and Ndlovu just bangs this forward. And now it'll be SuperSport United with a throw-in. Khan has just been told to go back a yard or two by referee Shinwane. Koa, Glovo, now Furman, Rocky. Good pressure being placed on Maritzburg by the visiting side. Gould gets that up in search of Krobla. He finds Rocky, now looking to play Modiba in. It's Solonyane just behind him. Here comes the cross. Clearance initially from Kulu. Now Rusike with the pace. Look how far Williams was out, sweeping at the back. Takana will settle for the throw in here.
Can understand why it's going to be important for goalkeepers to become sweepers as well, because a lot of balls are going to be played into the channel to try and unlock the two centre backs.
And here he is, the pace of Emmings Rusike. Already got 3 goals this season, 1 in the MTN8 and 2 in the league. That's Gould who deals with a little chip in from Makaringe. Makaringe back again, his last touch, and it'll be a goal kick. But the crowd are enjoying this rather furious start to this semi-final second leg. Let's hope they can keep up this pace this early in the season.
Let me tell you who's getting frustrated with his tempo. Is Yeye Solonyane, because he's much more mellow in terms of his approach. He wants to dictate the tempo. He hasn't got the luxury to be able to get a hold of that ball.
It's being banged over his head. He's had, I think, just one nice pass so far.
Yeah, and he's got Fortune Makari the far from him.
Last touch comes off the head of Maboe. He was the scorer in the first leg. Late goal to get that all-important equaliser at Atteridgeville. Played last month, of course, because we've had the international break since the MTN8 semi-final first leg matches. Tomorrow, of course, Cape Town City against Wits. Maritzburg back in action on Tuesday night in the league. SuperSport United got a big weekend next weekend with the African Confederation Cup quarter-final against Zambian opposition. I won't be worrying about that just yet. Now, left-footed strike. And that's why the goal. Van Wyk producing the early energy.
That's what SuperSport have got to guard against, giving away possession in that midfield with the pace of Van Wyk.
Fransman keeps that in play. There will be a foul in favour of Aubrey Modiba. And the referee just telling Maboe to calm down a little bit. Played for South Africa in the Chan qualifiers recently, so he's making a step up in his career, the young Lebogang Maboe, originally from Bombela United. Solonyane tried to make the tackle, but Ngomo gets the better of him. Van Wyk with an excellent ball. This is a wonderful chance. Oh, what was he thinking there? There were 3 players waiting in the middle for that cross.
Again, who got beaten in that midfield?
It's Solonyane.
It's Solonyane. He couldn't cope with the tempo of those young players. Physically as well, they bulldozed him. Look at how they were outnumbered as well. In the end, it's the quality of the delivery that let them down. They had the numbers. They had 3 against 2.
They had time as well.
Yes, they had time as well.
Disappointing from Shandu. A real rush of blood to the head, and maybe a sign of inexperience. Although this is the 7th season for Shandu at Maritzburg. He's only 22. He made his debut just a month or so after his 18th birthday. He's been in the squad. Seen plenty of coaches come and go here at Maritzburg. Now Williams under a bit of pressure here with Rusike's pace. Krobla. Matsatsantsa. The flag stays down. Tyler needed a better touch. Lovely ball there from Matsatsantsa. He's answered you very quickly, hasn't he, Brian?
He did. But that's the quality that he's got when he's given space and time to be able to pick the spot, and he singled out Tusopala. He is disappointed with that. It's a telling pass, well-timed round as well from Tusopala, let down by the first touch, and it allowed Maritzburg to recover defensively. But what a telling pass. He timed his run so well, but it is wildly there and he clears the ball.
Now corner up in the air from Daniels, punched away by Mpandle. It falls for Brocky. That's not number 50 just yet. Over the top from the New Zealand international.
Do you think he's aware that he's about
He is, I know he is, yes.
Puts him under pressure a little bit.
It does. Goalkeeper was under pressure there too, and the defence perhaps not the smartest of clearances.
Second ball! Hey!
Up in the air from Gould. Gulu. Matsatsantsa goes up but doesn't make contact. Now Mokoena, he was pulled back. Sheldon van Wyk gives away the foul. SuperSport United looking to put a bit of an impression on this game now.
What a talent he is, Mokoena. So comfortable on the ball, good passer of it as well.
Furman. Clayton Daniels, he has Matsatsantsa. He's the oldest player on the pitch tonight at 35. He's won this MTN8 twice before in his Kaiser Chiefs days, 2008 and 2014. Tusopala's touch a little heavy there.
Two points so far on Yeye in terms of finding Tusopala. The space that he's got up against Shandu.
Mpandle has competition for the jersey, the #1 jersey at Maritzburg this season with Richard Ofori, the Ghana #1 goalkeeper, signed by the club. He's on the bench tonight, having played in World Cup qualifiers. Now Furman, little chip, header, goal! It's number 50 for Jeremy Brocky. Simply done. And he's kept up this remarkable record of goals in cup competition. Number 23 in the cups, 50 overall for SuperSport United. Just the start that Eric Tinkler was looking for.
What a start. And the intentions have been there to say they are going to play the crosses. And when they play the crosses, they must always find the likes of Jeremy Brocky, Bradley Krobla. And yes, they did. And he started that move, Jeremy Brocky. And what a finish as well. The marking not so clinical. Dean Fairman gets involved. Exact man, Mudiba, who supplies Jeremy Brocky on the far side. And there was no chance for Ndlovu as well, who was up against Jeremy Brocky. It's more like a dancing header, but on target. And there was no chance for Bongani Mpandle.
Great little chip in there from Modiba. Beautifully set, and well, they don't come easier than that for Jeremy Brocky. He got the goal against Kaiser Chiefs in Durban in the quarterfinal. Now a second successive goal in the MTN8. That's the 5th time, by the way, he's scored against Maritzburg in his SuperSport United career. So 1/10 of his 50 goals come against the team of choice. Obviously his team of choice. Strong header from Ulu. SuperSport United had to score in this game, otherwise Maritzburg would have gone through. So now, as things stand, 2-1 up on aggregate. Maritzburg, if they can bring it back level, then we might be forced into extra time and penalties. It's still early doors in this game, just quarter of an hour gone. And we fancy there'll be a few more to come. Now, set pieces, SuperSport United. Two words that are synonymous. Let's see what they can do. This time it's Parla to deliver. Krobler, more of a defensive clearance than anything else, and in fact sets a chance up here for Shandu with Sheldon van Beek in support. They look a little shell-shocked, these youngsters from Maritzburg. It's not what the playbook had planned.
Well, the coach is aware that at some point they'll get shell-shocked, but he knows his duty is to try and bring the best out of them, try and guide them. And I'm sure if the scoreline stays like this, that will be part of the talk at half-time to try and get them to start believing in themselves.
Strong work from Morgan Gould. Oh, that's a punching tackle, but the referee is indicating he played the ball. So he's happy with it. Victor Chilwani was not far away from the action and certainly had his eyes on that challenge. But Morgan Gould leaving a real impression there. And not only is it a thumping tackle, Brian, it's an intimidating one as well. There's a chance for Nicola. Looking for a penalty perhaps. Was Rizike pulled back there? That's the claim from Maritzburg. But you wonder whether Shandu shouldn't have gone for goal himself.
I was about to say that, because that's what he should have done himself, but nothing wrong with, well, two things that he's done. What a defense-splitting pass. No chance for Mudiva. And as for Rizike, he was the intended man and he claims to have been fouled. I don't think so. I didn't see that from this, but what a chance. I don't think this game is over in terms of the goals.
There's a long way to go. It's edge of the seat stuff at the moment here. Just the way we like it with cup action. Some crunching tackles coming in, lots of running, plenty of tempo. And we've had a goal already as well in a couple of chances. Now in Global. Certainly not intimidated by the occasion, young and Global. Cup semi-final, his club looking for a first ever place in a domestic cup final. Ulu looking to sprint it down wide onto that right-hand side. Good clearing header from Mudiba. Weidlich. Makaringe. Makoa. Ndlovu. Down, edging them forward. Looking to play the 1-2 with Van Beek is Ndlovu. They still have possession. Great ball in. Ndlovu had the last touch though. And he was bundled off there by the strength of Morgan Gould. Goal kick it will be.
I'm sensing a bit of caution, pushing numbers, getting behind the ball on the side of SuperSport, perhaps getting too close into their box. That's inviting Maritzburg because suddenly you see them exercising a bit of patience in terms of how they play.
But the invitation that they handed to Maritzburg wasn't, in my opinion, readily grabbed. You can see there was a little hesitation. Makoa wasn't sure. Yeah. And Global hesitated for a moment too. It's almost like, come to my party. I say to you, come to my party, but you pick up the invitation and I can see you're not 100% sure straight away before you say yes or no.
I think the other interesting thing to me, which is crucial when you're trailing, is to get hold of that ball. Yes, you're going to mistake. You're going to make one or two mistakes because you're trying to conjure something, which is good at this stage. The danger, though, that I'm saying, and I'm saying this because SuperSport did the same thing. They scored first, and they had to defend and defended too deep, resulting in Maritzburg getting the equalizer towards the end of the match. And I'm seeing a similar pattern at this stage. Perhaps they waited for the right moment because the game plan, they still have Bradley Grobler and Jeremy Broken to try and pin in those crosses.
Goal kick as a result of a very good challenge from Sianda Kulu on Brocky. Mokoena had the last touch there. This is Kekana now. Skews off the side of the boot, so it's going to be a throw in here. And Globo looking to take it. Usike. Van Beek. Now, a chip out wide, but it's cleared away by Modiba. Kobler and Solonyane failing to combine. No way through there for my boy.
Yes, Yolan! Yes! Yes! Yes, go! Go!
You know, the one other thing that I think we should also appreciate, it's the referee who's letting the game flow. We've seen some strong challenges, but he's saying, let's go on. It's war. Let's have this battle.
And resultantly, it makes it an entertaining spectacle, not only for the nice crowd we have here tonight at the Harry Gala Stadium, for you at home as well. And there is another example of what Brian was talking about. There's some other referees who would love to be blowing their whistle now and flashing their cards.
I think he's bought into the spirit of this tough game, the essence of it. And once you absorb it, you understand the concept. But I also think he studies the players themselves. He understands their strengths and weaknesses.
My boy. Shandu again. Making progress on the right. Running into traffic though. Nicked away by Dean Furman. Good tackle by him. Kobler to Modibe. Kind of slow it down a little bit here, SuperSport.
Which is good, Mark. They've got to try and slow it down, because so far they've got to try and manage their lead.
Last season in the league, Maritzburg losing home and away to SuperSport United. This is Furman setting the ball up for Modiba. Excellent cross there. And Brocky, look at how he evades the defenders. Not the strongest of headers, Brian, you mentioned that, but still wide enough of Mpantle to find the back of the net. Kakana comes off the back of McCall. It's cleared away by Kulu. Evan Fransman got ahead of Brocky on that occasion. Now, Maritzburg.
We spoke about two components or two elements of this game where both coaches are talking about defense and transition. They've got to be organized in defense when they are attacking. And that's what we have to try and analyze from both teams in terms of defense and that transition.
Lovely running now. And again, too hasty with the attempted cross. There was time out wide. This time, my boy.
And there was no need for him to pass the ball. Not at that moment, because he still had time with, you know, a touch or two to just get more into the box.
Good representation of supporters here. And also in the crowd tonight is the national coach, Stuart Baxter. And sitting next to him is Paul Matthews, the team manager of SuperSport United. I wonder if a player like Young and Global is making an impression on the national team coach already. Certainly one for the future.
Yeah, if I was someone wanting to bring out a bit of a tricky situation, I'll say maybe there should have been another Maritzburg person sitting next to you to just talk with him to create that balance.
So Williams out there, collects comfortably. Makaringa. Shandu and Modiba, and foul in favour of SuperSport United.
It's a sort of foul which was necessary considering that he had lost possession and Modiba was going to counter.
Now with Solonyane to find Mokoena. Possession turned over. Mabue forward. Only as far as Williams.
Go! Close the inside! Good, Dylan!
There's Parla now. Finds Brocky. Well, he thought Parla had gone off on the run. Would have been asking a lot anyway with the power of that ball. Got a little bit of a knock in the process, Jeremy Brocky.
It's interesting that we have two prolific goal scorers who are both injury prone.
Brocky. That's a foul from one, number 28, Mikoa, on another, Tiboho Mokoena. And the reaction was perhaps a little strong from Victor Tlongwane. And the coach quite rightly saying in his face, just calm down, guys. You don't want to pick up any unnecessary cards at this stage of the game. And there was the challenge and the little bit of a follow-up as well.
He's lucky because the referee decided to give him just a pep talk. But ideally, that's a bookable offense because he didn't go for the ball.
Parla over the head of the defense. Well, the bounce doesn't favor Mokoena. Oh, did he keep that in play in Panja? I think he did, so no goal kick. We carry on with the live action, and they've turned the ball over. Mistake at the back. Parla. Brocky at the back post! Oh, normally he would put those away in his sleep. Completely unmarked. Wonderful chance to extend the lead.
All started by the goalkeeper, who played the ball with two players. We're not too sure whether it was aimed at them or not, and they almost got punished. And as for Jeremy Brocky, I've seen that sort of execution before. Orlando Pirates would know better because he's done that against them in Polokwane.
Let it go, Brett! Brett!
Long ball from Makaringa, intercepted by Modiba. Mabue to Van Wyk. Easily cut out by Brocky, helping out in defence. Only Krobler up front there with Kevin Fransman, who gets the call. Good work from Nglobo. Mabue. Shandu. Mabue again, gets the shot in, blocked by Furman. Crowd obeying for a handball. No one on the Maritzburg side is. Here comes Van Wyk now. Van Wyk! Blocked again. Modiba stop that from going for a corner. Brocky, Mokoena and Grobler, but Fransman has other ideas. Brocky keeps it in play. Bradley Grobler on the run. He finds that Solonyani in space. Now the options. Parler through the middle. Parler turns and shoots! Puts that wide. That is how quickly they can catch you on the counter.
Just have to borrow from the words that both coaches used. And I'm talking about SuperSport here. Look at the energy that is guided properly. Timing of the passing as well. And the sniper type of approach from Tuso Parler. And I say this because I'm watching the Maritzburg United player. There's so much energy. But that energy, I don't think is channeled the right way at this stage because they're making a few elementary mistakes in crucial areas.
This is Shandu who gets it forward. Musike turns on the afterburner. Runs into traffic though. That's Solonyane. Modiba. Cross looking for Grobler. That's Solonyane in the challenge there with Nkola, who wins it nice and strongly. Now he bangs it to the left and finds Evans Rizike. Support from Ndlovu. Hasn't drawn a defender. That's a lovely ball in for Van Beek. Perhaps didn't read it as it was coming in. SuperSport clear their lines. Grobler. Ndlovu. Makaringe. Furious pace continues there. Oh, that looks a nasty challenge on Mokoena by Ndlovu. And the referee is going to have to sort this out now. Let's hope that's not serious.
Let's hope there will be a different decision as opposed to what I'm thinking about in terms of a red that could kill off the game as well. Because that's an unnecessary challenge from Ndlovu. Needless one. But like the referee should do, should make sure that the player who got tackled gets attention, and only after will he show us his decision.
Well, Ndlovu, anxious moments for him, waiting now to find out what is his fate. Is it going to be a yellow or a red? The ref will first deal with the injury, and so the tension will mount. Clayton Daniels is having a word with young Ndlovu there. Dean Furman as well. They're all shaking their head at him. Youthful exuberance, I would say, rather than malicious intent. But a bad challenge nevertheless. And your first thoughts must be with young Mokoena. Now, Victor Tlongwane walks away with Ndlovu.
I'm looking at, referees. They have yellow cards in certain pockets and they have red. And I think the red is at the back.
He's also thinking about it.
He's thinking about it. I think that's, you're right. I think he's thinking about it, what sort of decision he's going to take. I don't think it will be a red now.
Eric Tinkler waits. The yellow card. That is very lucky for Ndlovu.
You're right. You have to think long hard about it. Because if he takes out the red, it kills off the game.
No, that should be a red.
That's a red.
That is a walkable offence.
That's a red for me. You're right. That's a red. That's a red. Didn't even go for the ball. That's a red.
Well, luckily, Kakana ready to come back on again. I identified it wrongly as Mokoena. It's Kakana who suffered that horrible challenge. I think he'll be okay and ready to resume. In from Daniels. Up to Grobler. Now Furman. Rolled across by Modiba. Brocky. Kakana. Gets it inside to Parler. Still in play. Last touch I fancy of Parler, so it's going to be a goal kick. Good call from the referee.
Very good call. With the assistant from assistant referee as well spotted.
Sakeli Siwela is the referee on the assistant referee on this near side. Now Parler again. SuperSport leading here by a goal to nil, 2-1 up on aggregate, looking to book their place in the final on October the 14th. Wits or Cape Town City will be the other side to contest the final. And we will know who wins that semi-final when they play their second leg tomorrow afternoon. 3 p.m. kickoff, by the way, live coverage on your World of Champions. Globo a little unsettled, I think, by that challenge. The poor pass from him.
Now it's going to put him under pressure because he's got to deal with the pace of Tusopala also on the right-hand side.
Now, earlier on, there was a claim for a penalty. We have been just going through. There is the pull on the jersey of Ruzike, very clearly by Morgan Gould, got away with it. So, missed by Victor Hlongwane. That happened in the 17th minute. We've been waiting to show it for you, but the action has been so fast and furious, and there have been so many incidents since that unfortunately we didn't get to it, but we are pleased now to provide some conclusive proof, and I suppose more of a talking point for half-time. Ndlovu. Now, Maboa is not having the best of games tonight. I think he's been far too hasty with the ball and very poor with the decision-making. We know he's a talent. Here he is, and there he misses out. Thought Shandu was coming across.
That confirms your case as well. Not making good decisions, and again, because of frustration, making some silly fouls as well. Late challenge, it lost possession.
Being firm and asking the referee what's the difference between that challenge and the previous one. Rocky, foul on Ndlovu. Makes it shrill of the whistle there from the ref. Furman. Furman again. Now Modiba. And Solonyani wants it. We'll get it now. Mokoena. Nicked away. Challenge from Daniels. Daniels continues the run. Now there are three waiting in the middle if he can get a good cross in here. It's along the ground. Disappointing from Clayton Daniels. Some nice work from Makaringe. Shandu. Nakoa. Evans Ruzike decided he's not going to chase that one.
Played the wrong ball. I mean, there was a better option, I think, on the left-hand side for me to try and change play. They won the ball on the other side. You've got to, normally they'll tell you, coaches, switch it onto the left-hand side. And the decision-making from it was not the best at all.
Fransman. Maboe. SuperSport have got everyone back behind the ball now. Makaringe. And Glovo, little burst of pace from him. Good challenge from Modiba, but it's going to spill out to Van Wyk here. Chance for Maritzburg into the penalty area. Straight at Kekana. The corner, he can bang those balls in from long range. Oh, Glovo too hasty, and then that shot from Makaringe is well over the top.
They're lacking patience in crucial areas, and you have SuperSport, defending desperately. That's where you've got to be precise with your passing in those sort of areas. You cannot afford to give away possession when you have the opponent against the wall.
Osike, and watch by Bull, gets past him, Daniels comes across, very good cover there provided by Daniels. Always the possibility with Ruzike's pace that he's going to get around the initial defender, so you need to have your wits about you.
And in the first game that they played, the first round, there was a situation against Ruzike. He didn't get too close because he knew that he's quite a pacey player, but this time around he got too close, and that's why he beat him. A good reading of the game as well from captain.
Now, stoppage, says the referee, to Tuso Parla, who looks a little bemused. Maybe has practiced that face of innocence before. Now, decision against Ruzike. Little push on Daniels. Free kick and an opportunity for SuperSport United to clear their lines. 42 minutes played already in this game, so we are fast heading towards half-time. Kulu to Ndlovu. Challenge from Furman. Sheldon Van Wyk holds it up nicely. Oh, chip in there now. Flick on from my boy, looking for Ruzike. Took some sharp defending from SuperSport United. Modiba. Certainly being pulled back there was Mokoena, so free kick. And it goes against Van Wyk.
That's smart play. In that center of that midfield, how he protected the ball, making it difficult for the opponent to dispossess him.
Hit a chance now, Brookie! Another one! Simply done by SuperSport United. Quickly taken set piece, and Jeremy Brockie's got another.
That's positive energy directed positively to the benefit of the team. Earlier on, I was marveling at how Mokoena protected that ball, leading to a foul, only to become the supplier. What a goal. It looks easy. And that's the man, Jeremy Brockie. 2 headers. What a ball delivered. Timing of the run as well from Mokoena. And there he comes, the predator himself. What a telling ball from Grant Kekana. It's more like a pass from Mokoena onto Jeremy Brockie, sneaking in once more when the defense is ball watching, and he converts with ease, but the technique as well. Excellent. That's a good goal.
Well, you were talking earlier on, Brian, about the inexperienced, and maybe they would, in their innocence, find that they play a little freer. But you must admit now the experience is standing in front of the classroom, chalk in hand, and teaching a couple of lessons here. They were certainly caught napping there. Quickly taken set piece, superbly done. What a great ball from Mokoena. What great ball from Kekana, rather. What a great header from Mokoena, and a superb finish as well from Brocky. 2 minutes of stoppage time added on, by the way.
Now, the energy that I keep talking about is that when you look at Maritzburg players, most of them from midfield going forward always want to have about 3 touches. The difference is that with SuperSport, it's all about the team, pacing themselves, getting the ball into the right areas. The delivery is good, timing of that run, knowing what to do at certain points. You look at Mokoena, he got fouled, but he also had to become part of the attack. But at the same time, he made a brilliant run, good delivery from Grand Kekana. But as usual, the timing of his run, Jeremy Brokey just sneaks in behind the defenders and gets a good goal.
2-0 now means Maritzburg must score 3 times if they are to get into the MTN8 Final. A 2-2 draw would not be good enough. That would mean SuperSport go through with a better away goals record. So 3 goals needed now by Maritzburg. It might be a mountain too high to climb, even this early in the game as we wait for the half-time whistle. Unbeaten so far this season, Maritzburg in the league. Of course, they're at the top of the table with 2 victories. A draw in the semi, the first leg against SuperSport, and victory, of course, over Mamelodi Sundowns in the quarterfinals. So they'll want to protect that unbeaten record, but it's going to be a big ask in the second half. Maybe a chance to put a fight together and get something here. Up in the air, off the head of Furman. Ruzike, nice first touch from him, but no support. And that'll be a SuperSport throw, and there'll be no hurry to take that either. Just a couple of seconds now before Victor Chungwani brings this half to an end.
What has also unsettled them is the fact that they played with 2 strikers up front. There's Bradley Grobler and there's Jeremy Brokey, and there's crosses coming on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. It has unsettled that defense. They've shown, what was the word that he used? Pedigree. That's what has come through now. They've shown that SuperSport.
And Maritzburg, well, they might have had a penalty in the first half, but they really should be down to 10 men after that shocking tackle from Ndlovu. So there is a lot still to do, but SuperSport United have the smiles on their faces. Furman continues the debate with the referee. Maritzburg in a little bit of a huddle before they go into the change room. And the scoreline we can confirm here is 2-0 in favour of the away side, and Jeremy Brockie has got his 50th and his 51st goal for SuperSport United. Welcome back, everyone, to the Harry Gwala Stadium here in Maritzburg. The home side and high hopes of a first ever cup final appearance. Coming to this game having drawn 1-1 away in Pretoria in the first leg. But they find themselves trailing by 2-0, 3-1 down on aggregate. And they need 3 goals if they are to get back in this game. A double change here at the break. Andrea Felicia is on as the first substitute, bringing an attacker forward, and he'll be joined by Yazid Atuba, the new signing from Cameroon. He played for AS Vita Club against Mamelodi Sundowns in the African Champions League just 2 months ago. So Atuba and Felicia, 2 strikers on. It is Fadlu Davids, the Maritzburg coach, who is now throwing caution to the wind. He can only really approach the second half in one way, that is to attack, attack and attack, and that looks exactly like what he wants to do. These are the 2 goals. Rocky in the 14th minute, and then another in the 30 minutes later, set up by Mokoena, easily done by the New Zealander. So 2 goals to Brocky, 2 goals to SuperSport United, 1 foot in the MTN8 final. A big task here for Maritzburg. Second half is underway at the Harry Gwala Stadium. No change, by the way, in the SuperSport lineup, understandably so as well. They've been a little more settled, a little more patient, and a little more experienced. And it's been a gallant effort from Maritzburg so far, but lacking in the finer aspects of the game, one could say. Decision-making, a little bit of patience needed on occasion, and they've paid the price. And then, of course, ball watching and concentration at the key moments. Here comes SuperSport in search of another. Kwabla didn't get a touch to that. This is Daniels with the cover defense. Now Rizike. Ron Kakana. Oh, Mekoa, another foot up there. And what is referee Trungwane going to do here now? That was a bad challenge too. A yellow card. And no option there.
Definitely not. No need for those sort of things. And yes, he's going to take the risk and start attacking Fadlu Davids. And as you mentioned, it's a tall order. And he knew what he was doing. Look at the foot collision. Tried to play innocent.
Now here they come. Maboe, Mokoena with the necessary interception. Maboe's run from the one end to the other, and no real impact made at all.
Again, we were saying that one touch too many. There was a runner on the right-hand side, which is Rizike, didn't play it onto him. And they're going to play it in a similar way that SuperSport played with Feliciano, and you have Rizike, the 2 strikers, to try and settle the centre-back pairing of Morgan Gould and Clayton Daniels.
Now this is Atuba, his first touch in South African football. Fine signing by Maritzburg, or potentially a fine one. Here's Felicia, his first touch of the half as well. Battled with injury over the last 18 months or so. Out wide to Rizike. Evans Rizike. Foul on Furman. And, well, Maritzburg didn't get the earlier decision. Furman gets this one. SuperSport United with a chance to clear their lines. Crowd don't like it.
Question is, was it a foul? Yes, it was. And they too should have had a foul from Relena Litsolonyane. So I don't think he balanced the equation, Mr. Trungwane. He's had a good first half.
It's a little edgy now, this game. A couple of challenges which give you a sense of perhaps a little bit of frustration on the part of Maritzburg. And ball in for Felicia. Morgan Gould with the cover, and Ron Williams will take his time. Here's Furman. Let's Soloniani. Now holding the ball, keeping possession, and just doing things nice and calmly is a lesson that Maritzburg could possibly take from what we're seeing here from SuperSport United. And that goes against Modiba, so possession turned over. Maboe. Ndlovu. Zike. Atuba. Looking to make a good impression here in his first game. Atuba. Blocked by Modiba. Drives it forward. Only Brocky there with Bevan Fransman. Free kick in favour of Brocky. Fransman gets a round of applause though from the home fans. They like that.
I think he called a throw-in as opposed to a free kick.
My apologies.
That's what he was going to try and do, Jeremy Brocky. Force them to make mistakes and foul him. The stop-starts will suit SuperSport better.
Yes, that's Soloniani now. Too strong for Parla. It'll be a throw-in on the far side. Makoa takes it quickly. Slip from Atuba rather than a push, says the referee. Now here is Brocky looking for the hat-trick. Looking for Bradley Krobler on that occasion. Well, Rosicky did well to keep that in play, but then it runs away from him. Just a little bobble of the ball.
I think he was in two minds. He was still also trying to make a decision as to whether he's going to be playing it for Feliciano in the box or improvise more.
Now Furman with Grant Kakano, who survived that horror tackle in the first half. Here he comes forward. Parla. Challenge from Weidlich is on Bradley Krobler. And the throw in again. Krobler and Modiba. Now the experience of Soloniani. Thinking about a shot. He's thinking about one here as well. Atuba got a foot in the way there. Makoa. Gambling a little bit at the back there on Maritzburg. They have the throw in, taken quickly, looking for Atuba. Atuba, by the way, played in the MLS in America just for a season with Chicago Fire. And he has played at full international level for Cameroon. He was in their Chan finals team. He also played at the World Under-20 Cup in Colombia, 2011. So he's a player of some pedigree, number 10. Keep an eye out for him. He could be a useful acquisition.
You can tell the basics are right. He's got good energy about him, very comfortable on the ball. It's just a question of adapting to the style of Maritzburg.
I think you mean pace more than style and tempo, rather. Not sure there's much style about it. It's just go, 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 go.
Well, and I say style because I was talking about, if you look at how the Maritzburg players operate, they prefer having 3 touches, and perhaps where he comes from is more about 1 touch, 2 touches.
Exactly.
And that can be frustrating as well.
Now, SuperSport United. A third goal would certainly kill this game off. But Soloniani looking for Parla, too strong. He'll be disappointed with that touch. But Soloniani prides himself on the range of his passing. Ndlovu. Ruzike, not the best of passes. The defensive work by Aubrey Modiba. He's having a very good game at left back. Provider of the first goal. Mabue is onside. Ruzike into the back. Oh, Felicia misses. Great chance.
It wasn't going to count. It was ruled offside.
Right.
But what a cross from Feliciano. In fact, what a cross from Ruzike.
Yep,
Good
offside.
goal.
I think that spares some of the blushes of the striker from Belgium.
Also, not too certain about the technique. You side foot those ones and he went for full laces.
Free kick, and this is going to go against Dean Furman. Not happy with the call. Is the skipper. He's just come back from a red card and a two-match suspension. Pulling back on my boy. Weidlich. Running here from Maboya. Defensive work from Daniels. He just boots it forward. Will be Bevan Fransman underneath it. Nice first touch from him. Weidlich again. SuperSport applying the pressure. Oh, the referee could have played advantage there. Victor Hlongwane, with all his experience, and the praise that Brian Mate gave him, made one or two crucial errors, and I think he'd be a little embarrassed by that more than anything else.
It's a refereeing of two halves. He had the best 45 minutes and a couple of errors now in the second half.
Well, it's getting a little contentious out there now, and the referee will hand Sianda Kulu a caution.
Was there a need for that? The answer is no, there wasn't. One of his best games when he started playing centre-back. Of course, one of the products coached by Coach Dan Marisela, played under Risko Stoichkov, remember him? I saw him play the centre-back position for Sundowns.
Stoichkov, great player, former European Footballer of the Year, rubbish coach.
But he brought the best out of Sundowns.
He's only had one coaching job in his entire career with the Mamelodi Sundowns. Brought very little to the club, except a bad attitude. Foul is going to go in favour of Blocky against Evans Ruzike. Maritzburg, a picture of frustration here at the start of the second half. Well, start, I should say, we're close to 50 minutes gone already, and half an hour left looming. Wide out to Parler from Daniels. Nicked away. And it'll be a SuperSport ball on the far side.
Come on!
Furman and Daniels.
I think the game plan from Maritzburg for me doesn't work. I think the pressing as well. still have numbers at the back, too many numbers in the midfield as well. They should be pushing up and take a risk. This is a knockout game.
Well, Daniels will clear. Maritzburg not getting that decision either. Atuba. Kulu brings it down calmly. Now Makaringe. Shot from Ndlovu. Got a bit of a deflection. That's why it's a corner. Why Williams is scurrying across to try and stop it from going out. He knew that it had taken a little deflection along the way.
Should be adding more numbers forward when he's back. SuperSport always have two Sopala up front.
Atuba will take the corner towards the back post. Bevan Fransman's there, but so was Bradley Kroblo, who is always so strong in the air. Back in from Makoa. Williams. And he kept his eye on the ball there, Rodman Williams, rather on Fransman, who was chasing down on him. Now, Bevan Fransman, he needs to calm down in the situation. He's the kind of player who should set the example for the rest.
Is it frustration, or he realizes that he left some gaps at the back and he wanted to?
Well, cynically said, Brian Mate, but I'm wondering, are you saying that from prior knowledge, previous experience?
That's what I'm getting into.
It
the
takes
mindset.
one old centre-back to remember.
And suddenly realized I actually left a midfielder at the back. I need to do something because there's problems. There's a counter-attack coming our way.
Onside. With Solonyani backing there, and then a fall into the penalty area, a free kick on the edge. That Solonyani has given away the free kick. So chance here for Maritzburg. So one by my boy with some clever play there. Oh, with Solonyani lucky maybe not to get a yellow.
Very lucky.
So let's see what they can do. Lining up to get the header in there, but it was Morgan Gould who got a decisive touch to get it away. Now Atuba runs into Solonyani. Ball's back with Makaringe, now the goalkeeper. Maritzburg with a great deal of possession at the moment, but well, there you can see 63% overall. The scoreline tells a different story. Here's Ndlovu. Shoots is wide. Not enough confidence in that shooting, I think, Brian.
Not at all. I think they've also done positional changes because Dylan Maker is now operating as a left back. I think that's a smart way, because if you look at the situation as it is, there's going to be a yellow card, time wasting.
Time wasting by Ronwen Williams. He's going to go in the book as well. The only player coming into this game on 3 yellow cards already this season is Aubrey Modibo. If he gets booked tonight, he'll be the first player this season from all of the clubs to reach 4 yellows and go for an automatic one-match suspension. It's a distinction I fancy he would like to avoid. So far, he's not in the book. He's had 4 cautions already here in the second half, to 2 in the first. Good challenge from Gould again. It's Solomyane doing well, but it's taken away from him. Makaringe forward. Makaringe. Rusike, first touch laying down, and a wonderful sliding challenge from Clayton Daniels to block the effort. SuperSport United ball as well.
And he's injured into injury, Clayton Daniels. Good move. And Rusike, just as he's about to pull the trigger, you see that time challenge from Clayton Daniels. I think he might have had his shoulder, but there he gets it so right. Good timing of that. Now, with Sandu having been substituted, you have Rusike now on the right-hand side. They pushed Zoe to operate also on the right-hand side, Mekwa on the left-hand side.
Well, they'll take their time at every opportunity here, SuperSport United. Big game in the African Confederation Cup coming up next weekend. Bradley Krobler is going to go off here. Sifiso Myeni will come on for his first official run-out with his new club, now on loan here from Bidvest Wits.
Was part of the team, Bidvest Wits team that won the MTN8 against Mamelodi Sundowns. Came on as a sub at the right moment and started the party, but now it's a question of having to help them slow things down.
Means we've got 3 past winners of this competition. This man on the ball that Solomyane mentioned earlier, he's won it twice. Morgan Gould's won it once, also during his time at Kaiser Chiefs. And Myeni, of course, of Wits. A couple of finalists here as well. Bevan Fransman was in the SuperSport United side. You remember when they lost to Morocco Swallows, 2012.
Just made Zeka Max to smile.
He's watching the TV and just thrown his jacket down.
Yeah, just thrown his jacket down to say they remember me, this guy.
Hey!
Now Weinig is coming forward. Atuba. Out wide. Mikoa. All-out attack is needed by Maritzburg. They need 3 goals, and they've got around about 25 minutes to do so. Well, Sifiso Myeni gets a rather rude welcome to the game.
But that long-range pass from Mokoena. What a talent as Mokoena is. They will make another change, and Sapo, I think, is the man that's going to be coming on.
That Solomyane is the player who's going to be going off. Just the goal now for Maritzburg would certainly liven matters up here. But with the away goals, 2 of them for SuperSport United, it's a massive ask if they are to book a place in the final. Now Weinig. Now Rusike. Here's a Tuba. First shot on goal from him. It's on target as well. Just a little too far out to really trouble Ronwen Williams.
Now it's all about managing the lead. You can hear the players saying, let's rotate it, let's take it to the right, let's bring it on to the left.
Well, it's a harsh lesson tonight for Maritzburg. Might have had their chances. Broccoli, of course, is still in the market for a third goal. Weidlich, taken away by Solonyane. Up to Brocky, with Ndlovu chasing back. Ndlovu and Brocky battling. Makaringa is in there, so is Mjeni. And eventually the free kick is given in favour of Ndlovu, who's perhaps suffering from a bit of cramp now. But before they can take it, the referee wants to allow Siyabonga Mhlapo on. Another man visiting from Wits for the season, and he comes in for Solonyane. You might know him better as a fullback, but in his Jomo Cosmos days he was a wonderful central midfielder, and I think he'll slot in there now for SuperSport United.
Yes, and I'm sure wherever he is, Dr. J is smiling to say, those are my boys. The sort of name they used to play for Cosmos.
Tuba crosses, Gould clears, not very far, up to Maboe. Makaringa, Mekoa, Tuba wide. Now Tuba looking to come into the penalty area and then pulling back on the jersey of Kekana. The referee's going to give him a yellow card as well. He took on too much there, I think. And he knows it too, and unlike the rest who were moaning at the referee when they picked up a yellow, Tuba taps him on the shoulder and says, sorry sir. Nice polite young man. Oh, McQueen's shirt was torn there by Tuba. I'm not sure he can change that after the game or give it to anyone as a souvenir. Go for a dishcloth or two.
There's someone there ready with a sewing machine to stitch it up.
Looks like he's got the numbers dropping down his back. Doesn't say much for the quality of those shirts, Brian. Oh, lovely skill there. Now the cross into the middle, away by Fransman. Not very far though. Furman. Now Felicia on the counter-attack. Taking the ball for Maboe. First touch a little too strong.
The experience of Morgan Gould coming through there, just stood in front of Maboe. Not his best game this evening. Tried too much. Just got a couple of passes, good passes for that matter.
That's going to be a foul. The referee says play on though. The linesman put his flag up. The referee said let's continue. Now a goal kick for Maritzburg. Clock says just over 50 minutes remaining.
I'm trying to have a look if someone at SuperSport has gone back into the dressing room to fetch a new shirt. So far, nothing.
Evans, Rusika. Global at Tuba with a heavy touch. He almost took his own player out there. Now, good ball. Maboe once more. Can he get the early cross in? Drills it. Looking for Felicia. Nicely done there by Gould. Tuba. He could have hit it first time. Drags it back here. Shot from the corner. Follow up. What a save from Williams. Denying Felicia.
There's a call for offside as well. But what a shot from Atuba. In fact, it's Dylan Mekwa. Yeah, there are a couple of players who were offside. They included the same man as well. Felicia.
We have a quarter of an hour left in this game. Evan Zuzike, Sifiso Umieni, and confirmation of the scoreline. 2-0 it is here, 3-1 on aggregate. Maritzburg must win 3-2 if they are to advance. So 3 goals needed by the home side, with time ticking away. Felicia knocks it long, looking for Mekoa.
I'll tell you who's struggling in terms of cramps. It's Jeremy Brockie.
And of course, he didn't play for New Zealand in these World Cup qualifiers. He missed the first leg because of all of that transfer business, or potential transfer business that didn't happen, so perhaps a bit short of match fitness. But a lot of these players will still struggle at this stage of the season, and a lot of them haven't been helped by the international break that we've just had. Maritzburg did have a friendly on Tuesday against the NFD club Royal Eagles, but they gave the players the last weekend off. SuperSport had so many players away on international duty, not only the 5 with Bafana, but Dobe Wome was away with Togo. Got a couple of injuries too. Bashera is out for a while, so is Mokeke. Atuba falls in the penalty area. A yellow card for him. Oh, that's going to mean a red. The referee's taken the yellow out already. Atuba is sent off on his South African debut. You've got to feel sorry for him.
Did he
But
have
it was
to
a dive.
It was a dive. Did he really have to do that?
Well, he shakes his head, but he has not made the best starts to a career in the PSL. Horrible dive.
It's a horrible dive. If it happened when he was closer to Dean Furman, I would have said something.
That was the
This
first
is the
yellow.
first yellow.
And he can have no real complaints. Kingston Nkata will be coming on in the meantime for Jeremy Brockie. So Atuba, this is the next 2 matches. They've got Orlando Pirates on Friday night, and before that Amazulu on Tuesday. So that's a bit of a loss for the coach, because Atuba, in the brief spell that we saw him out on the park, Brian Mate, just over half an hour, certainly looked lively enough. Felicia.
Kunene will be coming on soon for Maritzburg. It will be
There's the foul. Kolisi Kunene is on for Weidlich. That's the final change for the home side. Now giving some of the youngsters a bit of a run. I think it's a lost cause.
Talk about a player who's got to be versatile. Dylan was now operating on the right-hand side. He was on the left-hand side.
So the clock says 10 minutes remaining here in the MTN8 semi-final second leg. Harry Gwala Stadium, 1-1 in the first leg. Tonight, SuperSport United 2-0 up and headed to the final. No decision there against Clayton Daniels. Nicked away though. And Tusopala showing his experience. Combining with Kakana. Just keeping the ball. Look at Furman now. Escaping the clutches of Maboe.
Someone is going to be sent off.
Yep. It's the Maritzburg physio. His name is Karat van der Merwe, and he's been complaining all game long. Up and down every time a decision goes against the team, and I think the referee had enough. So another dismissal for Maritzburg, and a night to forget perhaps for the home side, as things now really not going their way.
Reflection of this game, they will take out a few good points and highlight a lot of things that they need to improve on. I think the coach
now here
right.
they come, looking for number 3 behind Kingsley Carter, and Sifiso Myeni forgot all about his scoring boots there. Maritzburg have a corner. Roman Williams looking to keep a clean sheet. Last game for him was in Praia on the plastic pitch last Friday. Up he goes, collects comfortably. Not had all that much to do in this game.
Didn't have to pull a spectacular save because of being tested by Maritzburg. Even at set play, he's had it easy. Got to give it to the defenseman by Morgan Gould, Clayton Daniels. They've been solid. And the man on the left, Mudiva. Things have happened on the side. Played some good crosses. Guess who profited is Jeremy Brockie.
Well, they're looking for more now. On that occasion, a little overcooked on the wing by Myeni. Well, it's Fadlu Davids, who looks now to be on the losing side. A good lesson tonight for a young coach, Brian Martin, would you say?
It certainly is. I think it's a good lesson for his boys in terms of playing it smart. I thought we spoke about energy being channeled the right way. And the coach mentioned it as well, to say his job is to try and help these youngsters and channel the energies the right way.
Yeah, the 2 goals from Brocky. The first one 14 minutes. The second one came on 44 minutes. Set up here by a lovely run from Mokoena. Jeremy Brocky continues his wonderful goal-scoring form for SuperSport United. What a exciting addition he's been to the PSL since first arriving.
That's the frustration showing there. Things not happening. They'll be able to string a few good passes. Not testing Ronan Williams, he's had it easy. Having said that, I also think that the goalkeeper, Bongani Mpanze, hasn't tested. I mean,
no, that's true. That's a very good point you're making.
Yeah.
It's been a battle in the middle. Now, Maboe. Oh, that's a crack and a half, but it's gone over the top. They're looking for the corner. Williams got a touch. Oh, that would have been a superb save then.
The interesting thing is that the assistant wasn't willing to commit to a save from Ronan Williams. So it took the referee to make that decision.
So here comes that corner. Good catch. That's an early delivery from Williams, certainly not necessary given that SuperSport are in no rush, but he has been booked already for time wasting, so maybe that was in his mind. Now Makaringa looking to turn here off Dean Furman.
Got the corner.
Well, they're still giving it a go here at Maritzburg. But Ronald Williams collects again comfortably. A little too long for Grant Kakana. Player who's had a fine afternoon. He might have had a horror injury in the first half. Here's Fransman looking for Rusike. And then Schnaupo gives possession away. SuperSport have got all their players back in the penalty area. Now Schnaupo just pulled back there by Globo. And the free kick is given here in favour of Maritzburg, and Globo perhaps a little lucky there also with a tug on the shirts of El Chapo, because he has picked a yellow up earlier. He might have been the second player sent from the field. Clayton Daniels. Mieni. Can they get a third? Finally he makes the save, right.
That helps his concentration. From Mieni. Didn't help their cause. Maritzburg with the red card was given to the sub himself, Yazid Atuba. One man down, SuperSport retaining possession as much as they can.
Mokoena with that torn jersey. And Shapo. Mokoena now played in again. Shots saved by Mpande. Mokoena looking to add his name onto the score sheet. We're into stoppage time now. 4 minutes remain. SuperSport United with more than a foot in the MTN8 Final. It's on October the 14th provisionally, but they might have to change it now because SuperSport United depends on what they do in the African competitions. They are playing in the African Confederation Cup over the next 2 weekends. Maritzburg United is back to the humdrum of the league. SuperSport's home against Platinum Stars on Tuesday, and then Zesco United at home, then at home to Chipper United the Tuesday thereafter, and then away in Zambia.
Clear the ball! King! No! King!
Over the top of Fransman to Kingston and Carter, who is pulled down. Fransman's also been booked in this game, must be careful.
Talking about the Confederations Cup, there's also the matter of Champions League where Mamelodi Sundowns are going to be involved, and I'm saying this because their game against Free State Stars is going to be on Monday.
Yes, they've been given a dispensation, obviously, because, well, they've asked for a bit more preparation time. They're home against Wydad on Sunday. Then they were supposed to play Ajax the next Tuesday, but that's been postponed
as
to
well,
allow them to travel to Casablanca. So the league is helping the clubs perhaps a little bit more than they did 1 or 2 seasons ago, which is a good thing to see. We're all in the same South African boat looking for glory for the country. 2 minutes to go. Felicia, this time, he beat the offside trap, but despite bringing it down, unable to fire off a shot. Makaringe, Rusike, look how far back he's dropped. Maboe, away from Modiba. Now in Kata, Furman. Pekana. Chance here for Globo to set something up. Again, a pass that is fired off perhaps a little too early. And it eventually is with Mekoa. Rusike. Cleared away by Gould. A minute remains. Sifiso Onyeni. There's a bottle being thrown onto the pitch from the crowd. The frustration now from the Maritzburg fans. You saw a picture of them departing. Well, they had high hopes. You can understand frustration, but it doesn't need to manifest itself in bottle throwing. That immature supporter. The SuperSport fans, a small little band on the other side, will celebrate. Jeremy Brocky, the author of this victory now, and Brian Mate with just a couple of seconds remaining. Your final thoughts? Well, not final, you can have as many thoughts as you like with your summation of this evening's play.
Listen, we saw experience coming through from SuperSport. The intentions were there with Brett Lekrobla and Jeremy Brocky and trying to bring in the crosses, and it paid off for SuperSport, and they showed their experience and their class as well. And well played, good planning from them, and well executed. Lots of lessons, of course, to be learned from Maritzburg, and I'm sure the best lessons are learned the hard way. So much energy, but I thought a lot of it channeled the wrong way, and they got punished for that. They're still doing well in the league.
Sorry, SuperSport United into the final then of the MTN8. Big smile for Eric Tinkler. It's his second cup final, having won the Telkom knockout with Cape Town City last season. And he will wait to see now who he plays in that final. Will it be the holders Bidvest Wits, or will it be Cape Town City, who are playing tomorrow afternoon in Johannesburg at 3 p.m. That'll be a cracking game as well, with City leading by 1-0 from the first leg down in Cape Town. I'm sure they've all been watching tonight. Time to go to bed, lads. You've got a big game tomorrow. Here we will show you the highlights, little goal package, and then we're going to hear down on the pitch from the man of the match, as well as from the two coaches. Mjeni. So here is confirmation of the final score. Maritzburg beaten by a much better SuperSport United, and they are in the final.